it if you go on here and you're a man and you see all these self-improvement videos and what you should do, you can do. The no fap, the fasting, um, trying to improve yourself constantly, and what happens is it's kind of a negative thing, and if you're not mentally prepared for what could happen, it could hurt you in a negative way. All right. For me, I'm used to being by myself. And in fact, I like being by myself. I don't like too long of talking to people. I don't like to sit here and talk to people at work all day. There's some people I could talk for like a little bit, but it's like, okay, that's all the energy I want to provide. I don't want to sit here just blah 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 all day because I'm naturally an introvert. I'm not an extrovert. That's just the way it is. I have a lot of value when I want to put it out there, but for the most part, honestly, me communicating, I'm not the best communicator. I don't look at people in the eyes like if a laser focus look at people in the eyes when I'm talking to them. I'm like I'm thinking about this and that because my brain works differently. I bounce from subject to subject and it throws people off, and the average person I kind of feel like I have to dumb myself down. I'm not saying I'm smarter than anybody, but what I'm interested is way more than they're interested in. And I'm not some kind of highly intelligent person. There's people that I listen to are like a trillion times more intelligent than me, and a lot of the stuff they say goes over my head. But I'm more into deep conversations. I'm not into I want to go and be the life of the party. I'm not that type of person. I'm more into deep conversations, one on one, maybe just small, very small groups. That's what I like best. I can listen better. Um, for instance, for me, I was at my mom's birthday party for me, right? And everybody's loud. And I'm used to quiet. My life is extremely quiet. Now I work in a factory, so it's really loud. But what I'm talking about is people being loud, right? People talking all the time. I don't like bars. I just don't like the just too much going on. It's too much for me to process. And they're talking about just real simple things to try to they're and I can be funny, but I'm more of like a clever, like, I come up most of the stuff is just I think of as just stupid, and I can just there's nothing going on in my head. But when it comes to like humor, but sometimes I could say something that's really clever. And the funny thing is sometimes I say stuff which is really true, like I don't know something, and then people think I'm a moron. That's what's so funny, and they think it's funny because they think I'm messing with them. They think I'm being sarcastic when in actuality I don't know, and I just kind of play it off because this is why I'm saying I'm stupid. I'm not very smart. I'm not very intelligent. So that's why I say I'm no better than these sheep. I'm really not. I'm not more intelligent than these people. I'm pretty much on their level, but uh, um, I could just I'm deprogrammed to see behind the curtain. So what you have to understand is what I'm trying to get at is when you do all this self improvement, you start taking things out, and and mind you, you can't take everything out. You can't take all the bad stuff all at once, right? You can't correct all your bad habits at once. You can't correct all your vices at once. The only way you can really make a major impact on all your vices and your bad habits at one time is if something dramatic happens in your life. Somebody leaves your life, like you really care about. Somebody either dies or they don't want to be in a relationship with you anymore, and they're just gone. And it's just like that's then you can use that fuel to really better yourself. You can use it as a you're such at a low, but you can use it to springboard yourself really far compared to where you were before. Um, but for the most part, if your life is very comfortable, right, it's really extremely hard to get rid of all these vices at one time. So I would say focus on one at a time. Focus at one at a time, get rid of one at a time, and because you're gonna want to just be like full fledged. I'm going out. I want to make all these changes, but it's really hard to stick with that, right? And then once you regress, you're gonna beat yourself up, and then you'll hear some other videos or whatever, and you're like, oh, then you get motivation and inspired. But just realize, just pick one thing, and you might want to take like the easiest thing you can do, and whatever that is, and try to get rid of that first. It's kind of like when they say pay off your credit card debts. You pay off the smallest one first. It just like it gives you accomplishment. Like I achieved something. Um, I sometimes like to bite my nails. I stopped buying my nails for a month. I don't do it. Bad habit. I don't do it no more. And then you can use that for the next thing you're trying. Like I want to quit drinking alcohol, or I want to quit smoking cigarettes. But don't try to do. It's really hard to do everything at once. And what you have to realize, once you've corrected a lot of these bad habits, once you're like, okay, you eat good, you don't drink, you don't smoke, you don't do drugs, you don't have sex with a bunch of people you don't know, um, you don't gamble, you exercise, like you're doing really good things, right? You're reading, you're meditating, you're doing all these good things in your life, very healthy things, right? What you have to understand is you're putting yourself so far above people, like to where the regular people are at, and you're not going to be able to really relate to these people, and you're not really going to want to spend time with people because most people are down here in the mud, and they're with their vices, and they're just living their life, and some kind of in a loop, right? In a loop, and they get their vices met because they have emotional problems and they don't face that. But once you put yourself up there, you're kind of looking down like, where's everybody at? And I don't really want to associate with these people because, why would I want to hang out with people while I just quit drinking or I quit smoking and they do that? Why would I want to hang out with them? I want to hang out with other people like me, but what you have to understand is there's not going to be a lot of people like you. So the internet is good for that, to connect with people who are where you're at. So that there's definitely drawbacks to what they say is taking the red pill or bettering yourself, because most people aren't there. Most people aren't. And there is, when they say ignorance is bliss, there is some truth behind that. There is some truth. Um, and that's what you have to think about when you're bettering yourself and getting better. But there's groups and there's people out there that aren't like the masses, and you're gonna have to get comfortable being by yourself, unless you can get like a good community. It's hard to find people that don't have, like, if you get rid of all your vices, it's hard to find people that don't have those vices. The average person has a lot of vices, especially here in America. This is a land of broken people here. So a lot of people fill their vices because they fill their emotional problems, their voids in their life, with things, eating. You can see all the fat people here. You can see the high drug use here. You can see the alcohol consumption. You can see people smoking for no reason. Why would they even start? Like, why did I start smoking? Why did I smoke for 3 years? It's stupid. Um, yeah, so that's something you're gonna have to take into account. You're gonna have to be by yourself. Like, you're not gonna want to be around people. The average person, you're not gonna relate to these people.